but some of my stories are just too crazy not to share. So I'm going to share for your entertainment.
Please do so.
So I'm not going to name people's names. And unfortunately, this guy has passed away since. Actually, not much longer after this situation happened. So I'm going to call him Fred. Fred, right? Yeah. And he lived across the hall from me. I lived in an apartment complex with my boyfriend, Pork Chop, and Pork Chop's crazy mom, who, whatever. And across the hall was this kid who I went to school with, who Anna was actually really good friends with throughout high school. I wasn't, but I became friends with him later on in his life. And he was a user too. At that time, I was selling. So I don't know. I think I was too fucked up and I couldn't drive or something, or my car wasn't on the road. I can't remember what it was, or we just got a car. I don't know.
Did you still have the Corolla?
No, we just got Pork Chop just got like a car from my brother. So
Okay.
I think he got it like that day. It just wasn't on the road. So I asked this kid, I tell him I'll give him stuff if he could drive me, probably like a half hour away. And he's like, yeah. So we get into the car. And as soon as we get into the car, he's like nodding out. And I'm like, bro, like you can't drive. Like,
no,
let me drive. Like, you can't drive. He's like, give me 5 minutes. I could drive. And like, sounds so stupid now, but like me being like in the user, I know that you can just like snap out of it. So I was like, all right, he'll be fine. So all of a sudden he snaps out of it and he's like, all right, I'm good. I'm like, okay. Well, we pull out of the apartment complex, we make a right, and right in front of actually Anna's house, all of a sudden, Fred gets into a car accident, smashes into somebody, and I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at that, smashes into somebody, literally made a right, smashed right into somebody. So it's a pretty busy road, this road.
How did you do that?
Because he felt like he nodded out and he just crashed. It was probably a light all the way up, so it was probably backed up. So now the ambulance, the most important part, we get into an accident and all of a sudden, and I'm not exaggerating, thousands of roaches start crawling from every crevice of the car. I tried getting out and I forgot the car doesn't work. So I literally like push him, hop over him, run out.
So like they were in the car?
Thousands. Everywhere.
Making me itchy. That's so gross.
It gets worse. So the ambulance winded up getting called and whatever. They didn't take the car. We lived right, we both lived right there. Brought the car back. I knew, knowing it's infested with roaches, now go take the car and drive it to Nassau County and back. Not only that, knowing, but in my mind, I was like, all right, they either all ran out of the car or they're all back in the vents.
So you went back into the car a second time.
I drove the car. And not only
with the roaches
by myself. And then I took the car the next day because I had to go to court with the roaches.
Again?
2 times.
Did you bring any home with you?
No, not that I know of. I don't think so. I was so scared, but I also was like, all right, I know they're there. There's thousands of them. I've been like in a lot of trap houses, a lot of like, I lived in the hood
zoo.
For a while. Well, the zoo wasn't even bad. Even the zoo was like a palace compared to some trap houses I've been to. Like seriously, like in some hoods, and at least like where I've been, the house you'd walk in, it would be like all plywood. There would be like maybe like a chair and like a table, like a full table that used to eat like microwave dinners on, you know, like one of those
Uh-huh.
tables. Someone like bagging up. A lot of times that I've went into these houses, there would always be like some random kid in like a diaper with like no parent around. Like I almost actually took one. I didn't almost take the kid, but I felt like I wanted to
You
help him.
almost kidnapped a kid from a
No,
trap
I didn't
house.
almost kidnap the kid, but like I wanted to help him, but I didn't because I'm like, all right, well,
So you rather take the kid and leave the drugs because that would be better? Or was it more take the drugs and the kid? Or
take the drugs and the kid.
okay. Okay.
But I didn't do that because I'm a drug addict and like I would have gotten a kidnapping charge. But I felt really bad and like, you know, whatever. When you're on that shit though, you kind of like lose your soul a little bit. Like I thought up until like a couple years ago, I thought I was a narcissist because I had no feelings. I was like so cold, but I was the drugs, clearly. I mean, I'm a pretty sensitive person, but, and I, you know, care about people. I'm going to be talking about these trap houses that they're dirty. You know, they're not kept, they're not cleaned. There's not even flooring. Like, there's not tile. Like, it's not like it's a dirty rug, it's plywood. Like, that's been pissed on, you know. So these houses are infested, and I didn't hang out like at these houses, but like, you know, a couple of my boys did, and sometimes you'd have to go in to pick up, or sometimes you have to go in, you know, if you're selling, to drop stuff off, whatever. They were mostly trap spots, people that would rent them like a room out to do work, and then they would go back to their houses. But these places had bugs, roaches. So the kid Fred, his mom, I think she's clean now, but she used to be a drug addict. So she was in and out of the hood. And she wound up having clothes, other people's clothes in her trunk. And that's how the roaches got in there. And like,
Had
right,
families upon families.
right.